Well, if we bring you an episode that's like pretty close to our last episode in timing, either something really good happened or not. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodgers Zone. Today we're going to talk about, of course, Mookie Betts' hand, Yoshinobu Yamamoto's shoulder, and why it all sucks. Let's go.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodgers Zone.
Strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening of June the 29th, 1990. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, I'm Ryan Bershinger. She's Monse Bolaños. He's Beau Benson. Monse, how are you feeling today?
Really annoyed about the whole situation, because it's, we get off of this really great series against the Yankees that we needed after we had a little bit of a slump. So you seem to want to get excited, right? You're approaching the All-Star break, all of the things that you want to see the Dodgers doing as your team. It's starting to click. Everyone's starting to hit, even, number 6, 7, 8, 9, all of these positive things start to happen. And then two of the worst possible things, one definitely the worst possible things happen. And you're just damn, there's also no clear answer as to how to move forward, right? How do you move forward right now at this point? You can take different avenues. You can, look at different options. But I think that's what's making me annoyed and a little bit sick in our Sick Podcast, that I just don't know the right answer moving forward, if there is one. Or do you just have to kind of go through the motions until, 2 months from now, which is damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Beau, how you feeling?
As I told you guys, the same exact feeling as when Hanley took that fastball to the ribs in the playoffs, and was that 2015, 2014? You just knew immediately that he was really hurt. And then, but also it's this happens every year. It feels like maybe last year was the one time where it's oh wow, there was no major injury to a Dodgers player, but man, this one stinks.
Yeah.
And this one's just magnified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's start there. Of course, Mookie Betts takes a fastball to the hand, and he's got a fractured left hand. Officially now ruled out 6 to 8 weeks, which, by the way, I think is the worst possible timeline we could have gotten. Because if you look at it, 6 to 8 weeks basically lines up to he's returning around the trade deadline, maybe a week or two later. And what the Dodgers front office loves to do is when guys are coming back from injury around the trade deadline, they go, well, we don't really need to make a move here because it's like we're acquiring somebody again.
Yeah.
But not really. Because for the next month and a half at least, this now creates a big hole in the lineup and in the infield, where now we are on a daily basis going to have some combination of 2 of 3 of Gavin Lux, Kevin Biggio, and Jason Hayward. All 3 of them will be playing against right-handers every day. And then against lefties, at least one of them has to pretty much play every day now, unless we want to give Miguel Vargas another shot in the infield.
I don't think they want to.
Yeah,
I don't either. But you know what?
I don't want to do that, and I don't think the Dodgers want to do that.
No, because that's not a permanent fix. And that's the problem here. It's that, honestly, I told you guys, the only good thing about Mookie Betts fracturing his hand, if there is one, is that we are literally forcing the issue that you guys have been harping on for the last couple of weeks, where it's get a real shortstop. You forced Mookie to be, you forced him. Don't tell me you didn't, because you approached him and he said yes, but you forced him to do that because he's such an awesome dude that he was yeah, I could take one for the team. When in reality, that was the problem from the beginning. And so the only good thing is they're forcing the hand, forcing the issue. Do something now. He should not be our everyday shortstop.
No.
I know that it was a freak accident while he was at the plate, but like, man, the vibes were so stinky from the beginning of Mookie doing this. It just felt like something was going to happen to him. That's just the feeling was all year, like something was going to happen. And he's 31, playing shortstop damn near every day. Like, it's insane to me, for as smart as this organization is, that was like, yeah, we'll just do that. I don't understand it.
And right, and like, to continue it, when you saw that there was a dip offensively on his end when you moved him, there was a dip because he was trying to focus on other things. He was trying to perfect his game in a position that he hasn't played since high school, maybe?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and to continue pushing it, it was just like, why are we doing this? Because we're overstaffed in the outfield. That's not a good enough reason.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and luckily, the one thing to look at for the short term is the Dodgers do have a real shortstop in the short term, and this is especially what we've been harping on for quite some time, is that Miguel Rojas, since the start of the season and throughout this entire season, really has been the best shortstop on the roster and should be playing shortstop every day. That should have then meant that Mookie just wasn't playing shortstop, period. However, because they didn't have a clear long-term answer in the organization at shortstop, it was obvious that they were trying to make Mookie work at short because in hopes that, like, maybe he really could be their shortstop for the next half a decade. I know there are guys like Trey Sweeney is definitely very interesting, and he's hitting rather well right now. But it's hard to fully project him forward as an everyday shortstop just yet. So they had to opt for trying to make Mookie work as a long-term solution. So for right now, of course, Miguel Rojas, who 100% should be playing every day at shortstop, will be doing that, and that's good. However, especially because of the Max Muncy injury too, you're now forced to roll with guys on a daily basis at other positions that this team really shouldn't have to rely on with how loaded this roster is and how really more loaded they should be.
And I mean, we're probably just going to be back here doing this in a week if Rojas is playing shortstop every day. He physically can't do it.
Yeah.
We've known that. We've known that forever. Like, when they acquired him last year and we were like, why would they do that? Like, he is a utility guy at this point. He can't play every day. Like, they knew that, but they didn't bother trying to get an actual shortstop for some reason. I will never, it does not compute to me at all. Like, it's weird. It's just so weird.
Right. And then, like, losing Corey Seager, then obviously Trey Turner. I don't think any of us thought he was gonna stay forever. But it's just like, this has been a couple of years now. Like, why
it goes back even further. Like, they got Manny Machado when Seager got hurt and had no intention of keeping him long term.
Well, I hate Manny Machado.
I know. I don't really care either. And I don't care about, like, Trey Turner. Like, I never worried about that.
But
it is just strange. It's just a strange thing for a team as smart as the Dodgers to have not figured out this infield.
And it's funny now because you look at, we're recording this before their series opener with the Rockies, and you look at the lineup for tonight, and Andy Pages is batting fifth. And in the last week and a half, Pages has started to turn it back around, which has been good to see. But that feels really, really weird. Like, quite frankly, we've complained about the back third of the order, but now you're at a point where it's going to be half of the lineup will then be Pages, Hayward, and some combination of Lux, Biggio, and Rojas. And that could very easily, for a team that has struggled offensively for quite a few weeks now, that could spell pretty, I don't want to spell disaster, but
there's a chance it could be really ugly. Yeah. If Rojas is playing every day, his offensive numbers are going to dip. Like, that's just how it is. I don't believe in Lux at all until he proves me wrong. I mean, and you mentioned Trey Sweeney, the AAA numbers are so tough to believe in,
right?
Given the offensive environment. Outman has a 970 OPS since he got sent down. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just a whole cascade, which is my concern from the very, very beginning of Mookie playing shortstop is something's going to happen. There's going to become this giant hole. The Monse injury aggravates it.
Yeah.
And now they're in a spot where they never want to be, which is they're already a step behind in negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Every team in the league knows, hey, they need infield help.
Right.
If you want to trade for guys, you're going to have to pay the premium, and they never want to do that. But as we talked about last week about Alex Cora, it kind of is a World Series or bust year. You made it that signing Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto. I know that's not entirely fair, but it is. So you're going to have to deal some prospects, and you're going to have to bring in actual major league players.
It is absolutely World Series or bust. Absolutely. You at least have to make it to the World Series. I think I could accept you losing in the World Series, but it is absolutely, you have to make it. And not just are we delayed, like you said, on these trade talks with teams, but the Dodgers have no leverage because who wants to help the Dodgers? Why would the Brewers want to help them and trade them Willy Adames? Why? Aside from the fact that next year he becomes a free agent, but the Brewers are playing well, why would they want to help the Dodgers? You know what? That's another thing that I sit here and I'm who would actually want to do something that would benefit this team that we've said, you are the evil empire. Everybody's yay, probably quietly off to the side.
Yeah, it's a super deal with the White Sox on paper makes sense because you can address multiple needs. The problem is going to be if you can get Luis Robert, Garrett Crochet, and Paul DeJong which in 2024, hoping that we get Paul DeJong to play shortstop is hilarious, but here we are. But if you could pull off that sort of deal, the problem is the White Sox are so incredibly bad. For multiple reasons. One, they're just a bad team. They're also very poorly run. And if you saw a week or two ago, was it Nightingale that reported that the White Sox wanted something more than what the Padres gave up for Juan Soto for Luis Robert, which is stupid. That's insane. How many times has Luis Robert been compared to Ted Williams? Honestly, I'm not saying he's a very good outfielder, 100%. He's not Juan Soto. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So the fact that the White Sox are going to look for that sort of package for just Robert to throw in Garrett Crochet, who's been phenomenal this season and is literally one of their only two good players. It would. The cost would be astronomical, and you factor in it's the Dodgers. You'll have the Dodger tax as well.
Jim Bowden, in the Athletic, he did a mock trade.
Yeah,
Dodgers get Luis Robert Jr., Garrett Crochet, and Michael Kopech for Nick Frasso, Justin Robleski, Kyle Hurt, Peyton Martin, Dalton Rushing, Andy Pajes, and Emil Morales. So that's 7 Dodgers prospects for 3 White Sox players. And it's one of the guys, you'd either have to switch out Kopech for DeJong or throw in another prospect for DeJong. It's not the spot you want to be in. It just isn't. And there's been talk that the Brewers could move Adames, but they want major league starting pitching. And, the Dodgers can't trade that either.
No.
Because now their second best starter is also hurt.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I think there's 13 players on the injured list that we have right now.
Something like
that. Which is stupid. And what did Tom Brady just say in his speech? That you don't have to be the best. You just have to actually work at it and, repeat and get better and all that. So it's we keep moving people out of their position. How do we expect them to be the best at the position if we're not letting them actually get in there and practice it over and over and over? Because imagine okay, Miguel Rojas takes over, but we don't make any moves. Are you putting Mookie back in there in friggin' 8 weeks?
Right.
That's a terrible plan.
Yeah. And that's the other point to this is what do they do when Mookie returns? Because quite frankly, if he's going to be recovering from a fractured left hand, shortstop is not where he should be. Because you have to do way more with your glove hand at shortstop than you would in right field. Yeah. So quite frankly, like there's no way they can put him back at short once he's back. Like they should just put him back in the outfield. Second base even might be a little too much for the rest of the season for given the injury. So it puts them in a very weird position because ultimately, like, they do need to acquire an infielder.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be, if they don't do it in the next week or two, they might not at all, which would be insane. Because again, like, they're going to view Mookie's return as a trade deadline acquisition, which is ridiculous. So at the very least, like, I mean, it'd be wild if the White Sox asked for, like, Nick Frasso for Paul DeJong, but like they're going to. But like, hopefully,
Yeah.
some like fringe top 30 guy, just throw them a bone. Say, listen, you guys are so bad. You have here a shortstop who's 55 years old and can still kind of hit. So just like give them to us and we'll give you a wild card. You get a little lottery ticket that you could throw in your organization because damn it, you need it. Quite frankly, the 30th best, Dodger prospect might be in the top 10 in the White Sox organization.
Might be
I mean,
top
the White
one.
Sox have a lot of young talent, but also they just don't know how to develop or manage it
Yeah.
because they're just so horribly run. So, that's the point though. You can't put Mookie back at short
No.
once he does come
Well,
back.
and the Max Muncy injury, I think, is kind of getting lost in everything. But like, he's not even swinging a bat right now.
Awesome.
So, like, you might be needing to call the Cardinals about Nolan Arenado too, like something. And he hasn't been good, which could help the Dodgers. Like, maybe you trade for him and hope that he plays better when he's somewhere he wants to be. I don't know, but it's just this cascading problem that could have been nipped in the bud, like, at the start of the season.
I mean, hopefully they could strongly consider Bo Bichette because that's a long-term answer at short.
And I don't want to be like all sky is falling, but I've seen a lot of like, well, the Dodgers are 8 games up in the division, so they're going to be fine. Like,
right.
Are you sure about that? Like, as you said, this offense is about to be really ugly, has a chance to be really ugly. And they still have to play the Padres a few times.
Sure.
And I know, once again, Dylan Cease, the guy I've been told is one of the great young aces, just gets rocked by the fucking New York Mets. So I don't know if I'm supposed to believe in him, but it's a little tenuous.
But to that point though, and this is kind of a positive spin to look at things again, the Dodgers offense has been struggling for the better part of the last month, and they still are able to win games.
Yeah.
Like they did have a slide there where it looked bad, but then being able to take that series with the Yankees, they still won 2 or 3 against the Royals, and the Royals are a good team. Like, let's not discount that.
That's all right.
Like, they can still, and I don't want to say, obviously, like, losing Mookie Betts is bad. That 100%, everyone should agree that not having Mookie Betts on a daily basis is a bad thing. But I do want to point out that over the last month, he wasn't putting up nearly the same numbers that he did at the start of the season. He was hitting like around 290 over the last month, had a couple home runs. It was not the same Mookie we saw at the start of the season. And like, we're a couple weeks removed from reporters asking questions of like, hey, maybe he shouldn't play shortstop so that way he could get his offensive game back going. And Dave having to vehemently say it's not shortstop. That's not the reason why he's not hitting well, which of course then the retort is like, well, then why is he not hitting well, Dave? And it's like, well, we're trying to give you a good answer for his lack of production, and he's not taking it. So I guess that's why I'm not like fully doom and gloom, because they've been able to manage their way to victories despite a lot of offensive struggles. But yeah, there will be times where it doesn't look good, and it will be now more obvious as to why it doesn't look good on those days. But I still think in the grand scheme of things, it'll be okay. But they'll drop a few games.
Yeah, that's why the Yamamoto injury is way more concerning to me than Mookie's. Pitching is ugly. Walker Buehler. I think we can officially put Walker Buehler in the oven. Right? I think he's cooked.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to either. But he has not looked good. He does
Sounds like
not look.
though.
He does not look good. He does not have an out pitch. He just can't get guys. And once again, it's Trevor Bauer's fault.
It is.
Yeah.
It is 100%.
And then Paxton has been scuttling. Like, they really just have Tyler Glasnow right now.
And Gavin Stone.
And Gavin Stone.
Hey, come on.
Yeah. Tyler Glasnow and Gavin Stone. Like, it's those two, and then Spit and Rocks. Like,
it's still a little bit like you're uncomfortable thinking about it, because Tyler Glasnow has never made more than 21 starts in a season, and he just had 15.
Yeah.
So there's that. Then I don't think he's pitched more than I think the number is 120 innings in a season.
Yeah.
Like, we're already pushing that. So it's like, yeah, he's great, but we're going to now expect more from him, which is not the ideal situation. And like Yamamoto, it's our fault, right? For making him throw a slider. like it is, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's this is largely my fault. I accept it. It's fine. Like, we can do this. It's fine. It is my fault.
I'm worried about Yamamoto even when he returns. And like, it was weird. Remember when they pushed back his start? Like right there, you were like, why? You pushed back the start on his bobblehead night?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't do that unless there was like a legitimate reason. So obviously, like, this has been something that they've been kind of monitoring, which is not great if you think about it.
My hope is that it's an overabundance of caution. He does in fact have pain, so like, he's on the IL for good reason. But my hope is, like, again, this is still his first season adjusting to the American game, where in Japan they throw once a week. And for a lot of the season, the Dodgers have tried to use a 6-man rotation and really give guys days off to kind of push the rotation further. And a big part of that was to make sure Yamamoto was eased into this league. I'm hoping that, if all is clear, if everything's fine, if he just needs rest and just needs to like take some time to make sure that this doesn't turn into anything severe, there is the positive of like, all right, well, as long as he's like good for the postseason, then all is good, really.
Yeah.
If he needs to take a month or so off to make sure that, because it's his rotator cuff, right, which is in the shoulder, so it's just to rest that, to get him there without ever potentially even needing surgery. Hopefully all will be fine there. But it sucks. It sucks, but it's not like shocking. Because if they're going to handle anybody with kids gloves this season, Yamamoto's absolutely there. As much as Glasnow is also prone to having these issues, they're just letting him rip and letting loose, and which, like, on one hand, like, is fun to watch, but it's also like, that's
and the cloud that hangs over all this, on top of like the trading guys being much more difficult, is the Dodgers medical staff is famously just not the most forthcoming with injuries.
Yeah.
So I will always be thinking I'm going to wake up every morning to news of like Yamamoto suddenly needing Tommy John.
Right.
Like, it's just, they've just always done this. It happens all the time. Who was it last year? I think it was like Dustin May or someone, right? They were like, yeah, we're just going to rest. He's just going to rest. And then a week later, he visited Dr. Neil ElAttrache and he's out. Like, so that's just a cloud of worry that's going to hang over your head.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's like how Brusdar Graterol is in fact a member of the Dodgers.
If you guys forgot,
like he's around. Same sort of thing kind of happened with Gonsolin, where like
that's right. It was him too.
Like him too. It was also like we only had like 2 starting pitchers at the time, and he kept saying like, I don't know, I don't feel super great, and they're like, well, we don't have anyone else. So
get out there.
Let's keep going, Tony. Give us those 4 inning starts. You're all right. And then it's eventually like, hey, my elbow's not attached to my body anymore. We need to do something about this.
I'm sorry. I just watched I just watched Rowdy Tellez try to take third base on a ball hit in front of him. That was great. Oh man, that was good.
Can you play third?
Also, a sign in the Pittsburgh bleachers saying "We want Livy." So
Nice.
those Pittsburgh fans know what's up.
I do too. I get it. I get it. I get it.
I have nothing to say.
So here we are now, and Beau, as you mentioned, the Yamamoto injury is actually more concerning because with Mookie, it's a broken bone in his hand, and nobody wants that. But like the rest of his body's still all good. Like he can still work out and he can still do what he's normally doing. He just obviously can't play for the time being. So it's not concerning for his status for the rest of the season. And again, I always like to spin it like, hey, get some rest for the playoffs. That's fine by me.
The 6 to 8 weeks thing could too also just be like super precautionary.
Yeah,
because they might be like, yeah, we don't need him to come back right away. We have Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. Like we have Will Smith. Like
Kevin Biggio.
Yeah. Well, hey, there you go. James Outman, you're coming back.
James Outman.
I saw yesterday. Kevin Biggio like almost got hit by a pitch, and the way he got out of the way was like terrible. Like he like kind of turned towards it and then kind of tried to do Matrix on it. Didn't his father get hit by a pitch more than anyone else in the history of baseball? I'm pretty certain Craig Biggio has the most hit by pitches ever. He out of all the things that listen, there's much more important things for Craig to teach his son. How to get 3,000 hits in your career is probably where he should have started, and didn't quite get there fully with Kevin, but there's still time, I guess. But in terms of getting hit by the pitch, if there's no better teacher in the history of baseball than Craig Biggio, and yet
he's number 2 actually.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's not him.
Number one is Huey Jennings.
Yeah, but just guy 2.
Lest we forget.
Yeah, you'll never guess when Huey Jennings' last MLB appearance was.
Was it 1893?
1918.
19.
So Craig Biggio is the real.
Yeah.
Real record holder. Oh, he's only 2 off. Yeah, no, it's Craig Biggio. That's fine.
Yeah. 285 compared to 287.
Yeah. Huey Jennings was known to be an asshole.
So
it was just it's not a
what if it was Huey Jennings that actually set Babe Ruth's wife on fire? Can you name the first active player on this list?
Huey Jennings. First active player.
He's just in the news.
Geez.
It's kind of surprising. Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. No, he does. He stands pretty close to the plate.
Good old Justin Turner coming in at tied for 52nd.
Nice.
Which, hey, look, if we're gonna make a trade with the Blue Jays, like, what's up?
You know what? Why not?
Bring him back.
Bring him home.
We need a third baseman. Maybe he wants to play second again. I don't think he plays the field anymore, but you know what? We can force him back out there.
Yeah, he'll do it. He'll do it. First Dodger on this list at 91.
It's Freddie Freeman.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Look at that.
Nice.
Was a guess. That's
second Dodger on this list. Colton Wong. He played for the Dodgers last year, right?
He did.
Let's go.
He did. Hopefully he added to that stat in the Dodger uniform. Speaking of Dodger uniforms, let's close it out with this.
Yeah.
Hey, those City Connects were finally released, and it was the exact ones that we were afraid of happening. So that's they're here.
The Pop-Tart looking ones. In case you guys haven't seen them, they're white. There's like rainbow specks on them. They say Los Angeles in blue, and a very they really do look like you gave them away for free at a city event.
Yeah,
like for the kids.
Yeah,
they're
a good swap meet jersey.
Okay. Swap meet jersey, and the fact that Freddie Freeman is 05, not 5.
Yeah. Did you see the 2?
5.
Yeah, it's ugly. The 2-2 for Kershaw was bad. I saw one of those. Those
Does it
numbers
say
are
0
stinky.
2 2?
No.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks-
That'd be cool. That'd be cool though.
It
should
looks
say
like there's
0.
like decimal points on the 22.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Does
weird. Yeah,
It's
because
not
the
pretty.
bottom of the two's cut off, so it's
I
like a weird.
I will say that they get credit for their attempt to actually tie things into the city of Los Angeles.
Mhm.
Like they had justifications for everything on the jersey. The execution was just atrocious. It looks so bad. They just look cheap. I don't like them at all.
Oh yes, I see the 22 on the Kershaw. It does
Yeah.
look like
It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
why are all the numbers not fully shown? Is that the thing? Is he the only one
Yeah.
on the back? It like cuts off.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Y'all,
It's not pretty.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna buy these City Connect jerseys, but definitely not the way to
If
go.
if I see one in person, I'm gonna like ask them for a picture just because I feel like you're never gonna see any of these things. Like the hat's not even good. None of it's good.
Beau, to your point on the City Connects having the right idea, and sorry for those watching on YouTube, yeah, I was frozen in ice for a good few minutes there, but I'm back here. To your point on the City Connects, yes, the idea with like relating it to the city and the city of dreams and the stars and the galaxy, all that is fine. You can do that. That's why, as we had mentioned in the past, just do like their old like Hollywood celebrity softball jerseys, or the Hollywood Stars game. It looked like it had the old school Dodgers with like stars on it. You could do white. You could do like white hats with the blue logo if you want. Like you can. There were ways they could have gone with this, where the idea is executed much better, and instead we got something that's just. It's really lame.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's just lame.
Right. And we can only assume that like more than one person approved it. Right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like one team of two people and we're like, this is good. Like people actually were like, that's a good looking jersey. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
That's what's alarming about the situation.
It's the font, especially, I think, is really bad. And then their explanation is like it's from the Coliseum on the original ones, and and I'm like, okay, I guess, but like nobody in LA like sees that font and goes, yes, from the Coliseum.
Well, they're all dead.
Yeah, that's right.
They're all gone.
Oh, love that. Iconic. Yeah. All right. Well,
I will say it's better than just sticking Los in front of the Dodgers and calling it a day.
Yeah. Just put Los on it. Make it all blue. There's some graffiti. Why not?
Are you subtly talking shit about the Clippers?
No,
I'm not.
Who? Ryan would never do that.
I was talking about the old City Connect jersey.
Yeah,
it's got the spray paint on the sleeves. It's supposed to have like a street art.
Sheesh.
Because the Clippers City Connect, I hated them. It was literally like Los Angeles, and it was like, we're gonna use this very gangster looking writing on it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The old English script. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yes.
I know what you mean. Those are, the black and white ones.
Terrible.
Oh, is it the one like the multicolored Los Angeles?
No, it's like black and white.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, those are pretty ugly.
They are.
Bring back the baby blue Clippers ones.
Yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nike's a menace. They must be stopped. They've ruined everything they've touched.
Thanks a lot.
It's bad. The Lakers still don't have the correct color yellow on their jerseys.
Nice.
Since Nike took over, they've had bright yellow, and every Lakers fan is like, no, it's gold.
It is
gold. And their Lakers jerseys are banana yellow. It's bad.
Yep.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. No sickest Dodgers of the week because
They're
they're all sick.
Yeah,
They're all
'cause
hurt.
they're actually physically ill, and no one loves that.
Shout out Ohtani for 2 home runs though.
Yeah.
Ohtani
yeah.
had 2 home runs. Yes.
Saving all of our mental capacity yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's thank God for
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
All right. We'll wrap this up here. So my name's Ryan Bershinger. She is Monse Bolaños. He is Beau Benson. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow our podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, hopefully no injuries next time. Just some good old fashioned baseball fun. Y'all have a good night. Domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, The Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.